Hello students, good morning, and today we are going to start a new chapter which is photosynthesis. In the previous classes we have studied about the cell structure, which is the anatomy. Different cells they become specialized to perform a special function, or they work together to do a job or to do a work in the plant. uh, After that we have studied about the absorption process, absorption by roots, and then transportation of food material, absorption after absorption, transportation of water and minerals from by the xylem tissue to different parts of the plants, and then the plant, and then the translocation of food prepared in the leaves, all by the all processes we have studied under the heading absorption by roots. After that, the transpiration, which is a necessary phenomena in plants for to create an ascent, to create a suction pressure, suction pull to for the ascent of sap, to create stiffness or turgidity in plants, so that they can stand erect. Even the flexible part of the plants are erect, just are turgid just because of sap present in the tissues. Today we'll today we'll study about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, what is the phenomena, what is the definition of photosynthesis, what are the factors affecting photosynthesis, then the pigment responsible for this. All the terms, all the minute details of the process, because you know what is photosynthesis, that is the process by which green plants prepare their own food, and how the preparing food is very simple, or is it a difficult process. So let's start with the definition. Photosynthesis, first let's start with the word photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, it comprises two parts. Photo means light, and synthesis means to synthesize, to prepare, to make, to prepare. What they prepare? They prepare food in the form of glucose. So this, how the glucose is prepared by the plants as a food material. If the glucose is consumed by the plant as it is, or it is stored in the form of, in another form. So this definition is definition of photosynthesis is, it is a physiological process in which green plants utilize carbon dioxide and water as a raw material in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to prepare glucose. C6H12O6 is for glucose, and water and oxygen is a byproduct. Excess of water is again recycled and utilized by the plant. Oxygen is the byproduct, which is the byproduct for plants, but the main or useful product for all other living forms. So this one, this amount of this carbon dioxide, water, and raw material. For definition, physiological process where carbon dioxide and water is utilized as a raw material in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to bake glucose, and releasing water and oxygen as a byproduct. After this is the importance of photosynthesis. Importance of photosynthesis is, importance of photosynthesis. Number one is food for all. Food for all. And number two is oxygen to all living forms. So the first topic is food for all. Food for all is plants prepare the glucose. Glucose is stored in the plants, or consumed, or it is translocated to the various parts at that particular moment. But what about the night time? So this some amount of glucose, or the the extra amount of glucose which is left in the plants, it is translocated to different part, or it is stored for that particular moment as starch, stored as starch. Then at the night time it gets again converted to glucose and translocated to other parts in a dissolved form, only. So there is a food. The plants prepare food. Plants are eaten up by the herbivores, then the carnivores, then the omnivores. So that process, the amount or the energy or the calorie entering that enters into the food chain is by means of photosynthesis, directly into the plant in case of plants, or indirectly in case of other organisms like herbivores, carnivores, and even human beings are the part of food chain. So in the food chain is indirectly dependent upon the plants for their food, and plants directly get the food from by the process of photosynthesis. So this food for all is by photosynthesis. Second thing is oxygen. All living forms, especially the aerobic forms, they are dependent on oxygen for the process of respiration, and respiration they take in oxygen and release out carbon dioxide. So that taking in oxygen, where do the oxygen comes? That oxygen comes from the plants as a byproduct of the process of photosynthesis. So this oxygen for all is available by means of photosynthesis only. Then next is the chlorophyll and chloroplast. Chlorophyll is a pigment, green colored pigment, and chlorophyll is a green color. Total number of chlorophyll types of chlorophyll is 9. Now there are of 9 types, and out of that only 2 we'll consider in this chapter, that is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. What they do is, chlorophyll A and B, they absorb the extreme ends of the visible spectrum. Extreme chlorophyll A and B absorbs extreme end of visible spectrum. Now what is the extreme end? Visible spectrum is VIBGYOR, means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. And this one is the extreme end. Violet or blue, violet and indigo we are not considering, this one blue and red. So this blue and red, this visible spectrum, blue and red colors are absorbed by the chlorophyll A and B, and this, after absorbing blue and green red color, they reflect green color. The blue and red absorbed, and green color is reflected by the chlorophyll. Green color reflected. So that reflection of the green color gives green coloration to the all part of the plant where chlorophyll is present. Now this, where does what is the exact location of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is present in the thin outer membrane of thylakoid. This one, thylakoids are this type of double membranous structures. When these thylakoids are stacked one above the other, they just like coins. A single coin may be considered as a thylakoid, and the stack of coin is termed as grana. The area where the grana is located is termed as stroma, which is colorless in appearance. Just I'll show you a diagram which I have made to make it easier for you to understand. This one, this one. Here in this diagram, as you can see, this one, This is the chloroplast envelope, which is a double membranous envelope, envelope, which outer and inner membranes. Then this tract, a single one is termed as thylakoid. A complete stack is termed as sorry. A stack is termed as granum. Then these are connected to each other by fret or thylakoid lamella. The colorless substance present in this is termed as stroma. So that colorless substance or the ground material or the inner material, which is the stroma. This is the diagrammatic representation of chloroplast double membranous covering. Then the structure of a guard cell. In this, as you can see, this one here, these two are the guard cells, dumbbell shaped structure in case of dicots. Inner wall is thick, outer wall is thin, nucleus is prominent, nucleus is present. Then these minute green dots, they represent chloroplast. After that, the covering outer and inner wall is present. This inner wall is very thick, outer wall is thinner. Then epidermal cells or the surrounding cells are the mesophyll cells. So this is the structure of a chloroplast, or surrounded by a single stomata. When these chloroplasts present in the stomata, when the stomata are pulled outside, when it bulges out, or turgidity during when the condition is turgid condition, they bulge out to bulge out, and an opening is created, which is the stomatal pore. Next, from this part, 3 questions. Number 1, definition of photosynthesis. Number 2, what is the importance of photosynthesis? Importance, or in other sense, other way we can write the question that how it is considered that all food present in the food chain is provided by the photosynthesis itself. Then number 3, the question may be either about chlorophyll or chloroplast composition, location. For every structure you must have to mention the location and composition, exact location. Exact location of chlorophyll is outer thin membrane of thylakoid. Exact location of chloroplast I will describe after this. And then the composition is chlorophyll contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and magnesium at the center. So composition of this is chlorophyll. Composition is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and magnesium. So this is the composition of chlorophyll. Now after this is the chloroplast. Structure of chloroplast I have described with the help of the diagram. Chloroplast, location of chloroplast. Chloroplast is present in the mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells, they are palisade, they may be palisade or spongy. Parenchymatous cells present. Meso means middle. Fill for leaves. So middle layer of leaves, which is comprised of this palisade in spongy parenchyma cells, and chloroplast is present in these cells. Then this after mesophyll, then composition and location I have described. Next is types of chlorophyll, 9 types. Out of that, 2 will study in this chlorophyll A and B, which absorb the extreme ends of the visible spectrum. Next is the opening and closing of stomata. Opening and closing of stomata, and which is related to 2 theories. One is the old theory and one new. So let's start with the old one, which is the sugar concentration theory. Sugar concentration theory. According to this theory, during daytime, when the process of photosynthesis takes place. During daytime, during photosynthesis, glucose is produced, and glucose, which is a kind of sugar. So this, when sugar is deposited in the sugar concentration increases, it means the solution becomes hypertonic. The solution is hypertonic. Hypertonic solution results in endosmosis. Endosmosis means from the surrounding cells water is drawn into the guard cells. Drawing of water from the surrounding cells into the guard cells results in the bulging out of this. Bulging out. Bulging out creates a stomatal pore, and which releases water and oxygen, which results in the diffusion of gases in and out of the guard cells. So again, theory: during a daytime photosynthesis takes place, sugar or the glucose is formed, solution becomes hypertonic, endosmosis takes place, water rushes in from the surrounding cells, resulting in the bulging of the guard cells. Bulging creates stomatal pore, resulting in diffusion of gases. Diffusion of gases to be utilized in the process of photosynthesis. Now closing. Closing of stomata is when the gases diffuse out, or during night time. There is no photosynthesis process, and the concentration is lower, so the water moves out, or moves out to the surrounding cells. That is the closure of, this is the old theory. Now the new one is in the guard cells. During photosynthesis, ATP is produced, energy is produced in the form of ATP. This ATP is utilized to pump in potassium ions. Pump in potassium ions. Actively pumping of potassium ions increases the concentration. Again it becomes hypertonic, then endosmosis. All the processes similar, from only the changes. Endosmosis, only the changes here. Sugar is produced. In this case, potassium ions are actively pumped in. Endosmosis takes place, the bulging out of guard cells and opening, but the closure during night time. Photosynthesis stops, then no ATP is produced to pump in potassium, so the concentration is low, which results in the flaccidity of these guard cells and closure of stomata. Closure of stomata. The question related to these three questions I have explained. I told you in the previous part or earlier part of the chapter. In this, the two questions which could be formed is what is the sugar concentration theory or potassium ion theory. So the two processes you have to explain. Then in this photosynthesis, this one may be asked, yes, how the transpiration process is transpiration, or the question you can write, justify the statement, transpiration is the price the plant pays for the photosynthesis. Justify the statement, transpiration is the price the plant pays for photosynthesis. And for this you have to, because the transpiration process in this, any one process you can explain that this one potassium ion is actively pumped, and this results in opening of stomata. Opening of stomata means transpiration. So transpiration is a process which is associated with photosynthesis, or which takes place just because of photosynthesis. So this is the price which a plant pays, or transpiration is the price which plant pays for photosynthesis. So this is all about the important topic or the few details of the process, that how the process takes place, what are the components responsible. In the next part we'll discuss about, or we'll study about the factors affecting photosynthesis, and various phenomena like leaf size, leaf shape, or how these things, internal and external factors, affect photosynthesis process. So thank you for today's class.